Bring it up, go ahead and bring it.
You can project. That's all. Oh. Only through the. No, can you put? No, you can take out from mine. No, I don't. I've on only wire. Yes. These are not. I think the same. Yes. Make it bigger. Just ready. Yes. Oh, more. That's better. That's good. That's good. Very good. That's excellent. Who can see the You want to play the Mudra? Yeah. Eh? Using okay. What happened to that? Is great. Okay. Gauranga boli se hame ulaka shari Gauranga boli Sansara Basma Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama,
వచ్చింది వేరే లింక్ ఆడియో రావట్లేదు సరిగా మహారాజ్ పాడుతూ ఎందుకు సాంగ్ సరిగా రాదు లెక్చర్ అయితే పర్వాలేదు
వచ్చింది కోకోనట్ వాటర్
When will that opportune moment come to us? When there will be quivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? While chanting Hare Krishna, when will there be tears in the eyes? When will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? When by his mercy will the desire for material enjoyment become very insignificant? When the mind is completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful. When shall I be very much able to study the books left by the six Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Das Goswami? By their instructions, I shall be able to properly understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. My only aspiration is to attain the lotus feet of the six Goswamis headed by Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Narottam Das constantly prays to attain that lotus feet. Yeah. Next. That's enough.
Maybe one more.
Okay. Good. Okay. This is on high pitch. As slowly. I can monitor. Okay. Gauranga Tumi More Dayana Chari Gauranga tumi more. Dayana chari ho. Please do not neglect to show me your mercy, making me your own very property. Kindly keep me situated at the ready sole of your feet. With the intention of attaining your feet, I have utterly renounced everything. Now I have taken full shelter of your soothing lotus feet. Whether I am related to this family lineage or that family lineage, I have completely abandoned them all. I beg you to be mercifully keep me by your feet, calling me your own. Vasudev Ghosh says, since I have tightly grasped hold of the lotus feet, please keep me here by always bestowing the soothing shade. That says Vasudev Ghosh.
We can start with time.
This is another good one. Narottam Das. Gauranga Karuna Karo Dinahin. But this is also almost the same tune as before.
That's it. Yeah, I think time is there. But this is cool.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. When Vaishnava etiquette course started, Bhakti Swami was the pioneer in pushing up a very essential aspect of our devotional service. And I have those early notes I have taken, and let's try to memorize something because it's less touch subject. We anticipate everybody without knowing the fundamentals and necessity of Vaishnava etiquette. Can anybody make this word bigger? No, I cannot. I don't know. This was an old format.
The plus sign down there, right?
Hmm?
Gone. Right down.
Oh, yeah. All right. This will be based on reading and discussing certain aspects. Okay. And VIHE, Vrindavan Institute of Higher Studies, they have introduced this particular Bhakti Sadachar course. And this is equivalent to Vaishnava etiquette course. People have to pass through before they enter into Bhakti Shastri. They must do Bhakti Sadachar course. So, this has been discussed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sanatana Goswami on Sadachar or the activities of Vaishnava. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami to write Vaishnava Smriti, that is Hari Bhakti Vilas, 24th chapter, 344, 21 slokas are pertaining to Bhakti Sadachar. Holding his hand, Sanatana Goswami said, "My Lord, you ordered me to write a directory about the activities of Vaishnava. I am a most low-born person. I have no knowledge of good behavior. How is it possible for me to write authorized directions about Vaishnava activity?" Sanatana Goswami then requested the Lord, "Please personally tell me how can I write this difficult book about Vaishnava behavior. Please manifest yourself in my heart. If you would please manifest yourself in my heart and personally direct me in writing this book, then, although I'm alone, I may hope to be able to write it. You can do this because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whatever you direct is perfect." Now, this is the first and foremost etiquette of a mature Vaishnava. he thinks himself to be so much, incapable to carry out an order. We find in the life of, Haridas Thakur, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes about the humility that when Haridas was ordered to describe the efficacy of the holy name, he was so much sober and putting himself, he picked up straws in his mouth and profuse cryingly, he submitted himself. My dear Lord, I'm a low-born Muslim. I'm uneducated. How can you order me? I have no capacity on my own. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, don't try to play with. I ordered you, so you speak. Then he said, oh my Lord, this is just like skies falling on me. Huh? What should I do? I have no capacity. You ordered me. I have to request you first. Can you please reside in my mouth and my tongue, and you vibrate? And I will not consider whether I'm speaking right or wrong. You vibrate.
Very well.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled. The devotees by humility attracts the attention of the Supreme Personality of God. So humility is the first and foremost manifestation showing our real inability. Our inability is not a qualification as such, but it is an essential trait of imbibing the character of a Vaishnava. It's not a trait. Trait means it should not be, artificially a character. No, but it should be coming out from the heart itself. Wow, I was beginning. Oh, this is all.
Yeah.
All right. So, similarly, Sanatana Goswami is the foremost of all the Goswamis, senior. And he tried to show the humility, but when he met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Chandrasekhar Acharya's place in Varanasi, he was very dirty. He was very much afflicted of long fatigue, but he was wearing a very good kambal, because his brother-in-law gave him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu noticed it. Why don't you donate this to somebody? So he did. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, go and take bath in Ganges, come and get shaved up. Otherwise, with the same kind of body, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first embraced him. At that time, there was no need of so-called cleanliness. Sanatana Goswami was pure. He perfected the art of devotion. And the first and foremost character that is for eternal period is humility. So whenever we are ordered to say something, express our inability on our own, we are nobody. In American schools, they are telling always, think you are somebody. You have a place. Always think, don't discourage. He is somebody. Oh my God, we are taught nobody. There's a constant conflict between somebody and nobody. What will you prefer? Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami to write Vaishnava Smriti, Hari Bhakti Vilas, and Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela. So this Hari Bhakti Vilas becomes the standard for what are the duties of a Vaishnava, starting from rising up early morning, all the way up to the end of the day when the deities also go to rest. A Vaishnava behavior is a Dainya Nandini. Dainya means humble. Nandini means the report. As if this is the report card. What we do? So, Sanatana Goswami also says that I am low-born, I may hope to be able to write it. You can do this because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead yourself, and whatever you direct is perfect. So please, reside in my heart and direct. Prabhupada also says, I don't know, I cannot write these books and these many books, but I was ready, whatever Lord Krishna dictated me and I write. I have not written this. These are the dictation of Lord Sri Krishna. So any book is capable to deliver, small or big. And Prabhupada said, please read my books, please read my books. Even I am reading my books, Prabhupada said. Because I don't know what I wrote. Yeah? I do not know what I wrote. I have to read my books. But all this configuration, systematic, composition of all the different effects of the holy name and the transcendental nature was perfectly fitting in his descriptions. So it's an honest effort. Honesty is first accept your inability, because we always think that we are imperfect. We are filled with imperfections. Four imperfections are there. What are those?
Imperfect senses. Imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses. Second,
Cheating.
because of imperfect senses, we make mistakes. And we also become illusioned. Then we cheat. Cheating doesn't come first. Because of imperfect senses are there, my imperfection is better than yours. Nobody will say. It is other way around. You are more imperfect than me. So this is the crux. That the point is that we need to think about ourselves, not about others. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, whatever you want to do, you will be able to do correctly by Lord Krishna's favor. He will manifest the real purpose. Because you asked me for synopsis, please hear these few indications. In the beginning, one must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. In your book, there should be the characteristics of bona fide guru and the bona fide disciple. Ado Guru Ashraya. But then, what are the qualifications of the Guru? Then what are the qualifications of one who is taking shelter? The disciple. Both should be written. Then before accepting a spiritual master, one can be assured of spiritual. Spend some time and see whether your spiritual master is bona fide or not. At the same time, the Guru also checks him out whether he is having genuine interest, is a bona fide disciple. But nobody talks about bona fide disciple, only bona fide. Right? Both should be discussed. But each other can examine. You are given time and see according to your understanding whether you are convinced or not. You may take somebody else's help. But then if you are gone to take somebody's help, he will drag you somewhere else because you do not know. You do not know. So a candidate's bona fides is required equally to understand the bona fides of Guru. Guru is dependent upon sadhus and but the disciple is dependent upon Guru Sadhus. So sadhus are the chain of discipline succession, and he has his own Guru. So again, Guru Sadhu Shastra becomes the cardinal principle that we have to go through, understand the bona fides of either the disciple or the Guru. You should discuss the qualification necessary for receiving a mention of the mantra, initiation, morning duties, remembrance of the Supreme Lord, cleanliness, washing the mouth and other parts of the body. Oh my God. He's entering into private business. How do we wake up, we brush our teeth, and how we go to toilet, everything. Arre Baba, you understand, Prabhupada taught the devotees, early devotees, giving up toilet tissues, took a lota, and all the way up to entering in the kitchen and cleanliness. You remember the incident of Jamuna was getting married, and Janaki, her sister, came and she was smoking and everything. And Prabhupada called, why don't you come and help me in the kitchen? Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Then somehow she touched her head. I said, go and wash your hands. So how many times? And she was habituated to smoking and smoked and came. Prabhupada said, did you wash your hands? With soap and water. So many times Prabhupada needed the cleanliness in order to insist upon the necessity to approach the Supreme Absolute Truth with external cleanliness and internal. Both are required. What to speak of cleansing the heart through the holy name. So, in the morning, one should regularly brush his teeth, take his bath, and offer praise to the Lord and offer obeisance to the spiritual master. One should render service to the spiritual master, to paint one's body 12 places, and 12 places with Urdhva Pundra, means one should stamp the holy names of the Lord on his body. Tattoo, stamping now. With the holy name. And instead, they put the whole tattoo there. They carry the tattoo in the toilet also. One should render service to the spiritual master, and the tilak, and one should stamp the holy names of the Lord on his body, or one should stamp the symbols of the Lord, such as the disc and club. That is also very well done in South India with branding. You know the branding? They are metallic, hot stamps that push on the body. Just say, ah! But that's good. It's branded for paper. After this, you should describe how one should decorate his body with gopi chandan, wear neck beads, collect tulsi leaves from the tulsi tree, cleansing his mouth, and that is achmanam, sadharana achmanam or vishishta achmanam, whatever, and the altar, cleanse his cloth and to wash the altar. The altar has to be kept clean. Cleanse one's own house or apartment and go to the temple and ring the bells just to draw attention of Lord Krishna. Also describe the deity worship, wherein one should offer food to Krishna at least 5 times a day. One should in due time place Krishna to bed. On a bed, you should also describe the process of offering arti and the worship of Lord according to the list of 5, 16, or 15 ingredients. 50 ingredients. Wow. Sodasopchar is the minimum that we do in our temple, but 50 ingredients on the festival days. The characteristics of the deity should be discussed as well as the characteristics of Shalagram Sila. One should also discuss visiting the deities in the temple and touring holy places like Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. You should glorify the holy name and carefully give up offenses when chanting the holy name. One should know the symptoms of a Vaishnava. One must give up or nullify all kinds of seva aparadh offenses in the deities. How do you do that? Beg forgiveness. And every time you do service to the deities. Items of worship such as water, conch shell, flower, incense, and lamp should be described. You should also mention chanting softly, offering prayers, circumambulating, and offering obeisances. All this should be carefully studied. Other items to be considered are the methods of performing Purashcharan, that is purification, taking Krishna Prasadam, giving up unoffered food, and not blaspheming the Lord's devotees. This is also a very important point that devotees should remember. A Vaishnava is not supposed to take anything that has not been offered to Krishna. We should be very careful about that. And because I have seen practically all over the world, we are developing a tendency to eat things that are not offered. The only consideration has become if the food is vegetarian, but we are supposed only to take Krishna Prasad. So even if it is vegetarian, then bring and offer it to Krishna. Being vegetarian doesn't mean you will go back home back to God. And Prabhupada said even the Fijians are try to avoid as much as possible. When you are traveling or if you are on a Sankirtan, then it is different. But still try to offer everything to Krishna before you take it. Like that. One should know the symptoms of a devotee and how to associate with the devotee. One should know how to satisfy the devotee by rendering service, and one should know how to give up association of the non-devotee. One should also regularly hear the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. We can see how Prabhupada actually implemented all these instructions of Sanatana Goswami in our society. He did not leave any stone unturned, you know. You should describe the ritualistic duties of every day, and you should describe the fortnightly duties, especially observing Ekadashi fast, which comes every fortnight. Now, here also important things to consider. We will generally think that just by not taking grains, we are observing Ekadashi. But actually, when we talk about observing Ekadashi, it actually means fasting. And fasting means not taking anything. Fasting does not necessarily mean just fasting from the grains. Or can make sabudana khichdi, do all these items, and our Ekadashi feast is better than every day. Well, it has been purposely done. Otherwise, people will not fast. That is also another fact. So, Ekadashi preparations are oily and opulent. But as one makes an advancement, one should try to fast completely. Also, it has been directed that one may also stay awake for 24 hours. They were practicing. And Forest Hills, New York. Many devotees were practicing, but they could not sustain for a long time. They did at least 10, 15 years. Regularly, all Ekadashi, they will wake up at night and talk Krishna Katha. But I don't know, I would like to sleep. I wouldn't know this much. But anyway, they were doing that you have to stop eating grain 18 hours before the Ekadashi starts. So no grain would be staying in your stomach. It is that kind of, strictness is there. Because Annat Bhavanti Bhuta. Only the grains are the cause of bodily conception. So on that day, we have to get rid of bodily conception. So whenever you think the last meal which was containing grain, but let it be before 18 hours, because in 18 hours it will clear. The body should not touch the grain even. What to speak of externally? Only during the Parana time. So that means 18 hours plus 24 hours. 36. Around 40 hours. 40. So, that many hours of fasting. Yeah. Nobody knew that. Come on, this is what is written. Yeah. And it's also been described that one may also stay awake for 24 hours. Stay up during the day and the night. When I give class on observing Ekadashi, devotees often raise the point that Prabhupada never really instructed to us to observe Ekadashi in this way. I mean, Bhakti Charu Swami says, because it is surprise that Prabhupada never told. You do not know what Prabhupada says. But actually, in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada says that devotees may stay awake the whole night. Singing the glories of the Lord, fasting. So Prabhupada actually did instruct us to stay up all night as well. It is actually not a very difficult thing. I'm a diabetic, so I'm. What do you think?
I never remember.
At least you made it through. We have excuses of old bodies, right? We have excuses of old bodies. Please, have mercy. Right. You should recommend to recommend the avoidance of the mixed Ekadashi and the performance of pure Ekadashi. There is also there is an overlapping time period where generally if Ekadashi is extended the next day for Dwadashi, then you should perform Dwadashi, not the Ekadashi. Sometimes the Ekadashi begins not necessarily an early morning, but it starts later. So it is overlapping the next day. So that is called Dwadashi. So better perform Dwadashi fast for Ekadashi. So that is that. It's an overlapping period. Many a times the overlapping period is there. You know, we are still in overlapping period of Dwapara Yuga, which is going on in Kali Yuga. Therefore, deity worship is still deity worship was supposed to be for Dwapara Yuga, not Kali Yuga. Only her holy name. So we are having the best of both. This is called conjunction period. All right. So perhaps you have noticed that sometimes we do not fast on Ekadashi, but we fast on Dwadashi. The reason we do this is that Ekadashi is mixed. That is, Dashmi enters into Ekadashi. When the 10th day overlaps the 11th day, it is to be mixed or penetrated, means overlapping. And one does not fast on that Ekadashi, but instead fast on the next day, that is Dwadashi. That is the 12th day. And it has been described that fasting on a Mahadvadashi is 1,000 times more potent than fasting on Ekadashi. Now, where is that calculation coming from? And glorification of Ekadashi. The purpose of all Ekadashi to be performed is to get rid of the Papa Purusha which is coming through the grain. And not Bhavanti Bhutan, right? The Papa Purusha enters through the grain. Therefore, we avoid the grain. Right? What is Papa Purusha? Everything is personified because it is the potency with the qualities when mixed, it becomes manifestation of a personality. So, in Ekadashi Katha, this is the primary understanding that all these days of a week have been taken away by the demigods for their protection. The people who believe in them, they will fast on that day and they get the benefit. Parasparam, you know, in Bhagavad Gita, Devayatanena bhavena. So, parasparam, for mutual benefit between the mankind and the demigods who are the controlling agents of our internal activity, we should, we are given Yogya Shishtas, Santu Munchante Sarvakirvishe, Munjante Te Tugam Papa, Epachanta, Atma Karana. This is a mutual thing. We don't offer to demigods the bhoga. We offer prasadam to, and prasadam has to be distributed. All our internal functionality is conducted by the demigods. We do not conduct. Why would Krishna then say, Aham Vaishvana Rupatva Praninam Deham Masritam Pranapana Samayuktam Pachanyam Chaturvidam? I am the fire of digestion called Vaishvana. I'm sitting. And you feed me chicken and tell me to digest it? You do not digest. What an offense. We want to defile the system that has been coming down for a mutual understanding. Otherwise, who knows what is our functionality, which is out of our control when anything internal thing happen to us. We are not in control. Only we are in control to defile the whole body and its functionality. Krishna has arranged. You may look like Krishna or two-handed form, but you are perverted reflection. And having a perverted reflection, we are still having perverted intentions, desires, and they will spoil our life. So it's for the mutual controlling entities, they are demigods, and they are in every body. They expand. You are not Bhimsen, but Bhimsen had a fire of digestion called Vrkodar. That was something concentrated, very powerful fire in the body. And we can't compete with it. Ours is Vaishnava. And Krishna said, that is me. Vrkodar is also Krishna. But the point is that somehow or another, we violate. Why do we violate? That's the nature of Homo sapiens. Number 9th creation of Lord Brahma. Brahma did 10 types of creations. All right? Starting from single cell entities all the way up to quadruples who are subjugated and they have to work under the laws of nature. Laws of nature. So they don't violate. They have their whole function of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Under the nature's control. But number 9 creation is human being. And Maitreya Muni is describing, without listen this, it's a very peculiar, somewhat obstinate in number 9. Arvak strotratu navamam kshatam eko vidhondranam rajo adhika karma para dukkhecha sukhaman. They are pertaining to human being. It's called Nara. Yeah? That is 9th creation. Nara. And his stomach is upside down. It's a game. Suppose if you don't have stomach, what is your life? Okay. I shouldn't speak because we are waiting for Prashad, right? But the fact is that Arvak Strutram, Arvak is upside down. Upside down, not horizontal, like the Mother Nature's. Human being is a wild upside down, like hanging. Arvak means hanging. And hanging stomach never gets satisfied. Never gets satisfied. The Arvak Strotra Nama, Shastam means Vedu, Evam Vidondranam. It's called Nara. Rajodika. Brahma came more rajogun in them, so they become hyperactive. And they do not live like animals. I mean, otherwise they are called animals anyway. If they do not live like human beings, they are animals, right? So, rajo adhika, they become hyperactive. Karma para, they are always having activity. Look at these karma para kids, right? Karma para kids. That is more of passion. Rajo adhika karma para and dukkha sukhamani. Even though they are surrounded by miseries, they still try to extract sukha from the miseries. So your sukha is dependent upon how much miseries you have. Miseries are the basis of our counting how much sukha I have. I hope you have less miseries than me, so you are thinking you are more happier. So dukkhecha sukhaman. If dukh becomes your standard of calculation for sukha, isn't it stupid? Can you count your miseries on the account of or on the standard of how much miseries you have? In other words, if we don't work, then miseries are going to come anyway. Better work. And then get entangled. Is it a happy entanglement or miserable? So our estimation of happiness in this material world is so vague that we have to depend upon calculation of that happiness on the basis of dukkha. Dukkha is there. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshana. All these four processes are miserable. So this is peculiarity of number 9th creation. Number 10th creation is demigods and demons. Very powerful, superb. Even the demons are powerful. And demigods are also powerful. Demigods like Indra can also make mistakes and he will be cursed. The Nal, Kubera and Manigri both were cursed, misusing their positions in demigod circle. But at the same time, Prahlad also came from demon side, the pure devotee. Right? So they are higher beings, very powerful, determined, both demigods and demons. And they always keep fighting between. There is never a truce. There is never a truce. Israel and Hamas. Never a truce. Anyway, so we see that we need to follow rules and regulation in order to keep ourselves disentangled. That we will not be entangled in such a way that we will never have any remedy to come out from it. So we have to be very careful. You should also describe the fault in not observing this. One should be very careful as far as these items are concerned. If one is not careful, one will be negligent in executing devotional service. Devotional service has its own rules and regulations. But becoming conversant to all this, way of living in a Vaishnava life will promote to come closer to performance of pure devotional service. Whatever you say about Vaishnava behavior, the establishment of Vaishnava temples and deities and everything else should be supported by evidence from the Purana. You should give general and specific descriptions of the behavior and activities of Vaishnava. You should outline things that are to be done and things that are not to be done. All this should be described as regulations and etiquettes. Right? So, Prabhupada is talking about Vaishnava etiquette, and these are the quotes. We should become familiar, and then we will preach something regarding this Vaishnava etiquette. All inhabitants of Vrindavan are Vaishnavas. They are all auspicious because somehow or other they always chant the holy name of Krishna. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Leela, 5th chapter, 232, verse purport. So here we also must understand one thing, that all of the devotees in ISKCON are Vaishnavas because somehow or another they are chanting the holy name. Prabhupada is giving the qualification of a Vaishnava. One should consider all the inhabitants of Vrindavan Vaishnavas. Why? Because somehow or another they chant the holy name of the Lord. So what to talk of the devotees of ISKCON, we should be very respectful, all the devotees knowing well that they are all Vaishnavas. The biggest hindrance in our spiritual progress is Vaishnava Aparad. It is actually a very dangerous offense. We must be very careful about committing Vaishnava Aparad. Even though some of them do not strictly follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, on the whole, they are devotees of Krishna and chant his name directly or indirectly. This is a very important instruction. Actually, the whole Vaishnava etiquette or the whole Vaishnava culture is founded on this principle. What is that? We have to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And we should try to follow the rules and regulations of devotional service. If somebody is unable to do it, means there are some exceptions, we can't imitate the exceptions. We must follow the rules and regulations. And those who are unable to, we should not criticize them. Because somehow or other, they are chanting. So, but they may not progress that close because they may not know this system. But nonetheless, they have a tradition to always think of Krishna because they are in the Dhamma. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela, 7th chapter, 50th verse, purport, a Vaishnava should be tolerant like a tree and submissive like a grass. What do you mean? By this? Should be more tolerant than a. Come on, come on. So come on. Yeah. That was Kerala group. Kerala group. You're wasting time. We haven't started Prashadam yet. Okay. Let's read this further. A Vaishnava is supposed to be joking. No, he is very serious. But it doesn't mean that he is very. Hello. So we have to cultivate the tolerance like a tree means no complaint. Whatever my go through, whether hard time, try to tolerate and Krishna will change the situation. Always hope, but you don't have to do extra efforts materially to get rid of those conditions artificially. For example, suppose you have gone in a debt, would you borrow money and make debt more complicated? Manage somehow like that without borrowing. Otherwise, your debt is there. Continue. Whatever is owned must be. Even if we leave that burden on our children, then we are like enemies of the house. What does Chanakya Pandit say? Rina karta pita shatru mata shatru vyavicharini rupavati bharya shatru putra shatru apandita. If the father lives as a debtor and as burden on the family, the family will hate him. A Vaishnava can. But
Siri spoke saying, I didn't quite catch that.
the burden of borrowing, if he dies, indebted. So who is supposed to, pay off your debts? You leave on your children to do that. They will hate you. So you are acting like an enemy of the family. That's easy to catch. It's not glorious. You can't escape the burden of indebtedness. The best indebtedness, if we understand that we are indebted to Lord Shri Krishna. He has given up so many chances in 8.4 million species of life. And we borrowed from him and we never paid up anything. So in the human form of life, this is the only chance. That if you think you are indebted to Lord Shri Krishna, then whatever you might have to face, just thank Krishna. Otherwise, you own him too much. All our lives, we did on our own whimsical desires. We never try to fulfill Krishna's desires. This is the only life we are now taught. And If you want to get success, Krishna will disregard 8.4 million species that you have in this. But pay off. Start paying. How do you start paying? Rupa Goswami says 50-50. That also people don't understand. Do you agree with Rupa Goswami? Yes?
Yes.
Because it's Rupa Goswami. But many devotees are saying, Maharaj, how is it? Our Swaminarayan says only 10%. You are saying 50-50. They are better. Let me join Swaminarayan. Yeah, people know like, but they don't understand what does 50-50 means. Are you in business? Yes, little bit. Who is in business? Raise your hand. Yeah, we have to understand this, right? Otherwise, the Swami, why should he lie? He could have asked, Krishna has asked 100%. Rupa Goswami says 50%. They are not contradicting. In spiritual method, is 1 minus 1 is equal to also 1. All right? Oh, now you got follow. 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. 1 minus 1 is equal to 1. 1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1. One multiplied by 1 is 1. If you agree, and 1 divided by 1 is also you agree, then why not 1 plus 1 is equal to 1? Why not 1 minus 1 is equal to 1? Spiritual mathematics. Value. Because 1 is there, and after if zeros are, then the value will be more. But in spiritual mathematics, we are told like this. Because Krishna is the only one existing and everybody else is embedded in him. All these living entities are but my part and parcel. They are within me and they are mine. That is Purnam. Purnam is not 0. Purnam is 1. So, in Krishna's eye, in spiritual vision, if you are united with Krishna, you do not lose your identity, but you are one in quality, one in, so 1 plus 1 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is equal to 1. Krishna is expanding, and all his expansions are lesser than him. Until the perma that exists between the atoms and in the atom also. And antarastha paramanu chayantarastham govinda. So, if you take out 1 yourself, there is no big loss. But there is loss in relationship between you and Krishna. And Krishna suffers more than you. Krishna is suffering more than you. Have you ever noticed? Read Brihad Bhagavatam. and you will see how the journey going back home, back to Godhead. Krishna cries on your shoulder. Oh, the roof. Where is it? I lost you. It's nice you came back. Trillions and zillions of souls are, getting away from Krishna. So if one soul is saved, our business is to always keep Krishna happy. Regarding so 1 minus 1 is still 1. Do not have separate desires. Take Krishna's desire as all in all. That's devotional service. Fulfill it. If we try to fulfill our desires on our own because you think that we are educated and we are in better position than in India and what's what, but then if you want to reject Krishna, what will do is your gain. So other way around, devotees want to sacrifice their life for Lord Krishna. Why? Because 1 minus 1 still remains 1. So humility is there that we should not count ourselves to be an insignificant contribution. We are but servant of the servant of the servant, the maintainer of the good. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say?
Gopi Bhartur.
Yeah. Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyas, Shudra Kenenoy, Jai Krishna Tattvavittan, say Guru Boy. Naham Viprocha Narapatim Napi Vaishyo Nasudro Naham Varincha Nagrahapatim Panasto Virvana Gopi. What is this Nikhil? Nikhil means what? Not Nikhil Shukla or whatever. Nikhil means what? You know, Akhil. What is the difference between Akhil and Nikhil? Akhil means 1. Okay. And Nikhil means no, it is also 1. Because we are all zeros. So it is 1. Okay. So 1 minus 1 is if you keep 1 as a center and do not count yourself through the humility, it is the good virtue of Vaishnava character. Stop. Now let's have question answers.
Ask for old age concessions.
Concession.
Old age concession.
Spiritual master is the only one authorized. Because he has to fulfill part of you.
So the thing is, as we age, every couple of years, we're losing your strength or the function, you can't bow down as much as you would like to. But now I have to think to bow down.
Oh, definitely.
So
Probably the spiritual master doesn't want to break your bones.
yeah, no, I'm just more concerned. You go to temple, you want to bow down, and this in the morning program is almost 50, 60 times.
Yeah.
Bow down.
Bow
This is the.
No, that we cannot do. I have a trick. It's difficult for me to bow down. Otherwise, you need a jack system to get you up. I feel a lot of discomfort.
But the pains in
So
the
the
heart.
trick is no, you are at liberty at your mood.
But your heart,
Try to do once at least. Not all the times. We can't compete with them.
but heart feels it, that you want to do it. The soul wants to do it.
That's correct, but for the example, to show that we are still trying. When we'll be lying flat, hospitalized or whatever, the question of coming. The deities will be brought by the devotees. Hey Prabhu, this is your puja room, meditation. No lying down. It's completely, an awkward situation, but at the same time, remember what's important before we leave the body. Everything is concession at that time. No hurt and pass through. As far as possible, in our healthy conditions, have to just to show to the other example or inspire somebody. Then we may try, even not in a single strike. Kerry Road. Here also we have to transport and we went to Montreal and he was getting a road. I was not a Samadhi at that time. So they say, what is this? They say, it's the road, it's our holy symbol. And he says, no, we need to unwrap. Nothing but bamboo sticks, but mantra-fied bamboo sticks are there. And commitment, the Jiva Danda is to be done. So Tridanda Sannyasi, contraband, drugs, and other things. X-ray, find it out. Oh, no, that's not it. So do you think you want to crack the bamboo? And my Devi said, through, or right on his face. I said, you have defiled my religious, commitment. Hell. We walked out. People want to be there. But this is very well documented in my mind. Do you want to know? Baba, we have to wear wigs and penitents.
Oh, yeah.
They were casting doubts that we are trafficking drugs. even me. And that also, but we did it. No problem. We have to keep low key instead of getting, top one over. Some devotees are excited by such misbehavior of custom officers and this and that. But what can you do? Devotees have to tolerate. We may not understand that, but at least give him gift. We can't beat up, at least they can use 3 dandals for beating anybody else. But we did not become it. Anyway, we have to be very concerned. And all this, the requirements of really understanding the Vaishnava etiquette, and we are like jewels of conduct. Our conduct is calculated on the basis of how much we can do. More. And devotees are filled with all these different experiences. So, yes.
We're in Kali-yuga, and this time right now takes 2 earners to keep the family going. So how are we, like in the West, it's almost everybody's got 2 incomes in order to maintain the family, kids and everything. How are we to see the 50-50?
Oh, 50-50. That's the point. You have good, at least, okay. Suppose you are in a business. You have,
Everybody
no,
gets salary.
everybody has more or less.
Salary.
Yeah, not the salaries are there, but it's also a kind of work. All right. What is your net salary? Okay, net salary. Put up 50% for Krishna, put 50% for yourself. Divide 50-50 into another. 50 means 25-25 on your side, 25-25 on Krishna's side. Give your wife, Mataji, you should take 25% to run the whole house. Okay? 25%. Whatever it is. Now, I'm not calculating in whatever, who earns. 25% to run the household. 25% for your okay. Now, for 25% of Lord Krishna's used to go to pilgrimages, and you can do so your 25%. Your 25% you can take, Krishna's 25%. Mix it. Expand your business. Your assets will increase. Your profit margin will increase. Every year you do this. Where is the ghata? Okay, but if you are doing it with Krishna, and if you are successful, you will not be at loss. You will lose your 25% in real estate, Krishna will also lose. But then, you have to start all over. If not real estate, then something else. Right? You have to increase your assets. And assets are belonging to Krishna, not you.
So do we leave it to our children or do we leave it to Krishna? What do we like? I'm just thinking even the future. Okay, what happens?
Behold, no future, however so bright. Acting living present with God overhead and heart within. That is the aphorism of Vedas. Jagrata Varani Bodhata. address yourself, your real self. Don't trust the future. However so bright. Means eluding. You invest in share market, huh? And what will happen? How could Adani got all those losses without any, shake up? That is the sanskar. And that the scam that people did in here, Adani's share market has fallen into such tremendous level, billions of dollars, and it didn't move any what do you call it? Hair moving.
Indian government is supporting.
Huh?
Indian government is supporting for our.
Oh, he has other things to support? No. He had, he is a cultured person. Not like Ambani's or showboats. Both are Gujarati. We know them. Only a Gujarati can know better than Gujarati. Yeah.
This 50-50, I'm just trying to expand this concept. The thing is.
You write an essay.
It says that like wife is serving you, you owe 50% of punya karma to her. Is that correct?
No. In good faith, you reinvest 25% of yours and 25%. Okay. This becomes 50%. Okay. You already have some assets, but all the assets belong to Krishna, right? Regardless, you are given liberty to make a 50-50 divisions. So it is ever increasing, no decrease. You are rich by your assets. How does this Ambani's and this Ambani's and Adani, they invest, they don't have lose money. In Kali, all the money you made tied up. I was at one of so-called big, they will not give much money. Only money was available. So we used to target whatever, because they have cash coming in. So in this way we can understand that however a wealthy, he has to employ so many people around him, because his brain doesn't work. Others use his money, invest money in share markets and whatever. They simply share that. It's your luck. You can't. How can we trust? When I was in Vrindavan, one gentleman came from Indianapolis, always comes every, vacation time. And he said, Maharaj, I have put up some money in the share market. Whatever the profit I get, I'm promising I will give you. He never gave. Because he never worked. He never gave it. It's a speculating and it's speculating. That's against the law.
When you said Krishna is more heard than
Why not? That's the character of love. Just like love doesn't tolerate separation, it's completely. Opposite. Only gopis can tolerate. And Krishna fails. But Krishna feels separation. Even he felt separation from the gopis. And he will make excuses. First he sent Narad Muni, please go on my behalf, give them some pulling advice. Narad Muni faced. And he said, Balaram, you go. Balaram went to Vrindavan. But in Vrindavan, there are in Balaram's association, there were separate gopis, not Krishna's. He came, enjoyed and came. They did not have that kind of, situation. They never expressed that. When Krishna sent Buddha, he got the real education to them. That is more important. And Buddha is educated. The highest rasa is always in separation of the gopis. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us that if you want to perform devotional service, follow in the footsteps of the gopis. Not gopas. The fraternity is not much, enjoying. They enjoyed in stealing food from Krishna. They enjoyed even playing games with him. And they also got protection from Krishna. So they have good faith. But that relationship is considered to be better than the fraternity is parental. But better than the parental. But better than the conjugal relationship is in separation. In separation. But that can be explained by without obligatory aspect. So they were with unmarried couples. There's no bar, no restriction. No formula of certain way that they have to do the service to Lord Shri Krishna. The mood of Dwarka is different. we have Ramya Kachidupasana Brajavadur Vargina Jata. Kalpita. They were thinking. And Krishna knew what they are thinking. But Krishna could not think and impose them, raise his hand, surrender. When Krishna feels separation from his part and parcel, that means constitutional. They are constitutional part and parcel of Lord Shri Krishna. And Krishna feels constitutional separation. And in constitutional separation, expanding, but it may not yield intensified love in separation of the gopis. It cannot be compared. So, they are supposed to cultivate a loving devotional service in separation of Lord Krishna. Whoever amongst passes and we celebrate, can you understand to celebrate our separation? Who would do that? Celebration in separation. Jayanilo Prema Karuna. This is Karuna. They are becoming helpless. Who will guide us? Who will, protect us? And who will be giving examples how to perform the good stuff? It is not there. So we build that separation against the rule, but at the same time, he reasons ill, who thinks that a Vaishnava died, thou art Vaishnava never died. So the sound vibrations in separation are very effective. So gopis give aware, showing the concerns in separation that they are going to come and in that state, it should be gradually developed. Why Gopi Geet comes first? And why the incident of the separation and separation in eternity? Separation in eternity means no separation. Separation in eternity is no separation. Krishna is captured within the heart of the gopis, so he cannot escape. So when we say Vrindavanam Parityajya Padekam Nagacchati, that Vrindavan is within the heart. The gopis are successful to develop it, so Krishna cannot walk out. All the interactions of Krishna and the gopis, right from the childhood, they were getting so much liberty. The gopis were getting, Yashoda will call and tell, pay Krishna. But they were a child. Up to forward or start, they respected Krishna's position, but at the same time, they took advantage of handling. is supported by Mother Yashoda. But as soon as after Pauganda, I was 7-year-old, there were no interactions like that. So don't you think that they were all be there allowed to touch him and dress him and do this, all the things, and they were teasing him also. But they developed in Kishoravastha, and he would tease them, this, them, and they were always resentful. Inside, they were loving it, but their behavior was resentful because it's not that, oh, public will think like this and this and that. No. It might send the wrong signal. And that's what we imitate in the material life. The youth are disturbing the girls everywhere, they abused. It's a wrong signal altogether. But Radharani and all, they are so much respectful that they never imitated anything artificial, which is not, what we found today. It's a perverted reflection. There are no incidents that Krishna ever. Yeah. So our life is nothing but perverted reflection of actual situation. And the relishment which is obtained in meditating on those leelas will be perfection of our life. And to even meditate, we need this etiquette within ourselves. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Let's begin. What's that? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So we like to thank Jonas. We have like a very, I should say, we have like a very intimate relationship with Maharaj. Maharaj was here since 1985. He actually installed Shri Shri Radha Golokananda.
I brought Siddhartha and Krishna Maharaj said, you have to install. Because there was nobody. So, okay, who is coming? This is the man. Okay, but he doesn't know anything. Fine, just doing and that's why I'm coming every year to have this darshan.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. And the class on Vaishnava etiquette. And as Maharaj said, like we often think of like, okay, how do we go next? But we have to start from the basic foundation. And Maharaj so nicely explained, starting from the mood of humility and going through that conversation between Sanatana Goswami and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'd like to express our gratitude to Maharaj for bringing up this a very important principle of Vaishnava etiquette and how we can actually incorporate these principles in our lives. So let's express our gratitude to Maharaj. Haribo! So we are going to, so tomorrow there are actually 2 sessions tomorrow. So in the morning at 10.
Hemant Prabhu.
Huh?
Hemant Prabhu.
Hemant. So it's at 10 o'clock. It'll be on Zoom, right? It'll be on Zoom at 10 a.m. Yeah. So 10 o'clock, there'll be a session on Zoom. So we'll send out the Zoom link. Okay. And tomorrow evening, we'll start at 5 p.m. at Hari Venu Prabhu and Padmapriya Mati's house. So we'll have Kirtan, Katha, and then Prasadam tomorrow evening. And then the fourth session will be as a part of a Sunday feast. So starting at 4 p.m. at the Nipulaka Temple. So we have a wonderful association with we, and we are very grateful to Maharaj to actually come here and bless us with this 1987. 1987, Maharaj is actually a resident of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So, to have that association of Maharaj is like Sri Vrindavan is actually, Maharaj is bringing the entire mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So we are very fortunate. Maharaj, if I remember correctly, Maharaj actually he came to US and then very soon he actually gave up his job and then joined full time as in the movement. He served in New York. He was the temple president at New York Temple and then New Vrindavan. And then 1987 he actually moved to India and then he served in different. Even with the GBC, he had many responsibilities, and then he served. I'm not GBC, I'm a KBC. So I'm making a bunk. Sorry. They invited us for October, but I'm traveling. Sorry. The Maharaj has contributed to ISKCON movement in so many different ways. The GBC and all. So we are very grateful for all Maharaj's contribution. And we are very fortunate to have Maharaj for this year. We installed Srinati for the first time in the Western Hemisphere. In ISKCON. In New Vrindavan. That was very great. Srinati is Madhvendrapur. And the Vallabha Sampradaya was given permission by Raghunatha Swami and Swami for Vittalesh to them. But Vallabhacharya was contemporary to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Poland. But he was very fond of his subordinate to be approved by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That incident has been given in Madhya Leela. And etiquette was the problem there. Vaishnava problem. Correct it and so from a disciple of Dadadana, that is recorded in Srimati. And then we see when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved his that was enough. And he was offered a seat in Gaudiya Vaishnava. At the same time, he received another invitation from Rudra Sampradaya. After Vishnu Swami, there was nobody. So he opted to go to Vishnu. And then after his sons took over and established Vallabhacharya himself did not establish
But Mitchell and he was also with predominance over their own understanding. The Gallapa Sampradaya came into existence as cellular succession instead of the cyclic. That is the difference. And we see the cyclic succession can go on for unlimited time. You know, Prabhupada was the first one to claim unbroken chain of distribution. All right. And he said that this succession should be carried on because his books and other things are standard and they have to spread. So naturally, ISKCON is sticking to this desire of Srila Prabhupada and manifesting, you know, just like the congregational development, and then the center is developed and the temple is developed. And so gradually everything is coming up. You know? I heard that Krishna Maharaj has now embarked in construction of the temple. Something you can shed light.
Yeah, Maharaj, let's hope.
Again,
Very soon. Well, the thing is.
I heard in Florida that
Yeah, it's on the whole.
yeah, I heard in Florida that our good acquaintance Dhirubhai Parkam gave $800,000. He can get it. That's a good consideration. I grew up with that friend. You know, and somehow or another, because he was the one I used to come here. And he was having his holiday in so I have been coming since 1981, 82. So anyway, but that's a good news.
Yeah.
Bhushan.
Appears very positive.
Other project line. No, that's okay, but I want to come and do something in US, but again, neither I'm pretty much competition. You know, that's good variety. So similarly, you know, so many tribulations, but India is having a lot of money. I was told when I became a you know, $1 million contributor, and even now they say, "What are you?" They say, "This is training." So I said, I believe. Otherwise, in India, in the beginning, who would give the money? Prabhupada made Shuri Temple the first project from VVPS. He was giving. Mayapur, he was. Hyderabad, he was giving. Anyway, that's a history. You will read in biography. So,
Thank you, man.
good.
Thank you all so much for joining. And we'd like to thank our host, Nitai Gunaman Prabhu, Josna Mataji, for hosting the program today. Also, we'd like to thank all the devotees who actually helped for the wonderful dinner prasadam. We have contributed. So thank you, everyone. And also, let's give a big haribol to all these kids. They sat mostly very quietly through the entire class. So let's give them all a So thank you all so much. So tomorrow, 10 o'clock morning is the Zoom session, and then evening 5 o'clock at Harivenu Prabhu and Padma. Thank you all so much. His name is Vaidyaskriya Maharaj ki jai. Leela Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Sade Govinda.